This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and you're listening to Catholic Inspiration, a podcast from my website at studyprayserve.com. These homilies, presentations, and retreats form part of my ministry as a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior. And now I invite you to open your hearts to some Catholic inspiration. Today is Monday of the 5th week of Lent. Our Gospel reading is John chapter 8, verses 1 to 11. Jesus went to the Mount of Olives. But early in the morning, he arrived again in the temple area, and all the people started coming to him, and he sat down and taught them. Then the scribes and the Pharisees brought a woman who had been caught in adultery and made her stand in the middle. They said to him, "Teacher, this woman was caught in the very act of committing adultery. Now in the law, Moses commanded us to stone such women. So what do you say?" They said this to test him, so that they could have some charge to bring against him. Jesus bent down and began to write on the ground with his finger. But when they continued asking him, he straightened up and said to them, "Let the one among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." Again he bent down and wrote on the ground. And in response, they went away, one by one, beginning with the elders. So he was left alone with the woman before him. Then Jesus straightened up and said to her, "Woman, where are they? Has no one condemned you?" She replied, "No one, sir." Then Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on, do not sin any more." Let the one among you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone. That line neutralizes the trap, because this is a trap. They're trying to trick Jesus to get him to make a statement. They're putting him in a no-win situation. If he says, "Yeah, she should be stoned," well, then they can bring him before the Romans, because Jesus is encouraging people to capital punishment, and they're not allowed to do that. Only the Romans can do that. And if Jesus says, no, she shouldn't be stoned, then they're going to turn to the people and say, "See, he's not a true rabbi. He's going contrary to the teaching of Moses." Instead, Jesus sidesteps the whole issue. Let the one among you who is without sin. Jesus turns the tables. All of you with stones in your hands. Okay, the first one to stone her should be the one who is sinless. Now think about that particular framework. Without sin. There's only one person here in this crowd who is without sin. It's Jesus. Jesus has the right to throw the stone. But all of them are looking at each other. They know each other. Maybe they know their backstory. Maybe they know their dirt. Maybe they just know that, I know about him. Who's without sin? The simple fact, friends, none of us. Jesus came, he's like us in all things but sin. But as the elders began to realize the import, the implication, if I pick up this stone to throw it at her, I'm judging myself because I would be lying, because we have sins. We all do. So the elders, they are a little tempered by wisdom and time. The younger hotheads needed a little time to cool down and think this through. Friends, we all sin. And in our sins, if we start condemning people, then the very act of condemning others condemns us because we've sinned. It's a very important point that, we are called to make judgments about actions. There are good things and bad things. But we're not called to judge people. Thank God. We'll leave that to God. We'll leave that to Jesus. The Lord will judge us all. The Lord is without sin. But if we start judging others, if we start judging people, assigning them to heaven or hell, we're running a risk because we don't have all the facts. And frankly, we're sinners. What this means for us today, practically, there's an old adage, hate the sin but love the sinner. In other words, brothers and sisters, we can make judgments about actions. There are good actions and there are bad actions. There are good decisions and bad decisions. There are good words and there are bad words. We can evaluate actions and words and behaviors, but we're not called to judge people. We'll leave that to God. And if we're tempted to start judging others, we're on very, very shaky ground, because we are sinners. And if we're going to start judging other people, then we will be measured by the same judgment. Our own shortcomings will be held against us. But rather, the back half of this passage is powerful. Woman, has no one condemned you? No, sir. And Jesus says, neither do I. Neither do I condemn you. But he encourages her, exhorts her, do not sin anymore. The one who has the right to judge is the one who shows mercy. And so friends, first off, we leave judgment to God. But secondly, we stand before God in need of the very mercy because of our sins. And so today, if we're tempted to judge other people, if we're tempted to just leap ahead to their lives, maybe this gives us pause. And the pause is, Lord, be merciful to me in my sinfulness. Lord, I ask for your mercy, and aware of your mercy in my life, may I be very gentle in dealing with other people in their shortcomings. May I be very, very circumspect before I leap to a conclusion. Yes, we are called, brothers and sisters, to judge words and actions and behaviors, but not people. We'll leave that to God. We'll pray for mercy for our own sins. And we will continue to move forward, striving to live a life that's worthy of God. And when we fall, to turn to God and authentically ask for the forgiveness, the mercy, and the grace we need to carry on. This passage gives us great hope. The God who knows our hearts longs to reconcile us. But it does require us to be honest, to be humble, and to leave all judgment to God. Our task, to strive to do the best we can with what we got, to strive to call out whatever is evil or wrong, to live in God's light, and allow that light to shape how we live. God bless you all. This is Father Andrew, and I hope this podcast inspires your faith. Now, if you found it helpful, please share it with a friend, and you can help me by leaving a rating and a review. I keep all my listeners in my daily prayers, and I ask for your prayers in return. God bless you, my friends.